Ladies and gentlemen listening at home, let me spin you a yarn real quick of a story. Of a story of a man who took a decade pretty much to win his first championship despite having the overtly most stacked team in the league for that decade. A story of a man who had to give up all of his previous thoughts and he had to steal mine. A story of a man who is such a pussy that he cannot make his own predictions and commit to those predictions. So I have to do it. Let me introduce you to Alex, the pussy from Portugal over here, who could not, after saying the Packers were the number one team in the league, could not come to himself to pick the Packers on a 3-point spread. Alex, how you doing, Commander fan?
I mean, after this introduction, I'm feeling great. I'm even getting introductions like this in the show, so you know it feels special. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Angelo? I mean, to be frank, my thing was never that I thought the Commanders were better. In fact, I said that the Packers were going to win this game. I just thought that 3.5 points, I thought the Commanders could hold this to a field goal. And to be frank, they had the chance for it. They had like a minute and a half left on the clock, and they had the ball. They were 9 points down, so they were always going to go for the touchdown, never going to settle for the field goal, I would imagine. And then they would probably go for two, or even if they go for one, it doesn't matter at that point. But I feel like I had something going there. Like, had they scored there, I would have won my pick. But hey, I'm happy that at least my prediction that Packers might just be the best team in the NFC seems to be holding true, because that defense.
Look at the way. Look, he can't even say the words. He can't even say the Packers are the best team in the NFC. He has to say the Packers might be the best team. Like, look at this. This is the kind of shit that I deal with. This is the kind of shit that costs you playoff games and championship games. And this is the kind of pussification of fantasy sports and football that I cannot stand, Alex. I can't stand it.
Angel. Just keep your Eagles. Keep all of that like baby crap sort of shitty ass, soft ass team. The Eagles and
whoever. They were coming off the Super Bowl, Alex. You know who's not coming off the Super Bowl, Alex? Whoever you thought was the best team in the NFC last year. That's who's not coming off a Super Bowl, Alex.
Okay. You know who's actually the best team right now? It's the Packers. I'm giving you that one again. As I said last week, they are the best team in the NFC. They have the best defense in the NFC. They have the most diversified offense in the NFC. They can hit you with Tucker Kraft. They can hit you with Romeo Doubs. They can hit you with Devonta Wicks. They can hit you with Jaden Reed. They can hit you with Matthew Golden. And then on top of all of that, they can also hit you with
Matthew Golden last night.
Yeah, well, they will eventually. Like, he's a rookie. Let's give him a bit of time. And then on top of all of that, you can also hit him with Josh Jacobs. So yeah, I think it's, and let's not forget, they were down 2 starting offensive linemen last night. So all of this combined, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my prediction that they might just be the best team in the NFC. And 2 weeks in, it's holding on strong. Let's see what the rest of the NFC does at this point. But they just beat the crap out of the Commanders. Like, they completely nullified the Commanders' offense for a good bit.
It's just so sad to listen to you talk. Like, I don't understand it. I'm flabbergasted. I don't understand how someone.
But at the same time, I'm speaking the truth.
Year after year after year after year after year, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and he won't learn his lesson. The lesson that God is trailing you. The lesson that keeps getting put in front of your face every single year, and you're just like, nah, I'm not gonna learn this year. Golly.
Sorry,
Couldn't
buddy.
be me.
But at least
Couldn't
you
be
have to
me.
give me reason in the fact that I call it they are the best team in the NFC. It's looking very much like that's the case at this point. So
Congratulations for calling something than not having the fortitude to, actually make a prediction based on that. You know,
well,
yeah. Calling it.
again, spreads not winning games because I said I thought they were gonna win. Um it's just the 3.5. I thought it was a very
Then say
solid
fuck
number
the
for
points.
us.
Then say fuck the points. They're going to win. Stand on your business. Do what I did week 1 with the Eagles. Stand on your business.
Yes, and then you have an L. I was trying to avoid that.
Who cares? So Alex, did taking one L in week 1 hurt me last year? What about the year before, Alex? When has standing on my convictions hurt me? Go ahead.
No,
I'll
never,
wait.
never. We know that you
Exactly.
like to
Not
take
in the long
them
run, it hasn't.
L's, especially in fantasy, right? Like you are a
I have
master
a
of that.
championship.
It's not in our main league. The main league is the championships that counts. Those are the ones that matter. And in that point, whenever you have an even semi-competitive team, you just completely go off the rails. So speaking of L's, Angelo. You can't spell Angelo without an L. So
Can't spell Alex with that one either. And apparently it also comes with no confidence in yourself or any of your predictions. So I think I'll take mine.
all right. But what did you think of the game last night?
I thought it was great. I think it was basically everything I said was going to happen. The Packers came out. Their defense honestly looked like the best defense in the NFL in the first half. It does actually give me Eagles vibes from last year. I know you're going to hate that. I don't care. The offense, once again, the biggest thing with the Packers is their offense in the fact that it looks like the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, and there really isn't much deviance between the two. So you either have no hope or you have all the hope in the world.
I think the Commanders will be fine. I think they just
Oh, the
faced
Commanders will be
again.
fine.
Yeah, I think they will be fine. I think a lot of people are going to sound the alarm bell because of what happened with Stroud last year, and it's like now they're seeing like first game versus the Giants. They won, but the offense wasn't like an all-time sort of offense. It wasn't a massive offense.
They're not going to
It
beat
was
the
mostly
Eagles, but
just
it's all good.
let's see. They usually have easier times with the Eagles. It's just like the in division stuff. Um, they always give the Eagles an hard time, even when they're a bad team. They tend to give the Eagles bad times. So let's see how that one goes. But I just think they're going to be fine, and I think they face the best team in the NFC. And it's the best team of the NFC right now, where you have guys that can still develop quite a bit as the season goes on, and you still have pieces that are still getting integrated into their team, like Micah Parsons, who joined super late in the season, still getting integrated into the defense. I'm expecting that to keep looking better and better and better. They also on offense, like again, there's still a bunch of young guys. They're still developing quite a bit. They also added another rookie this year in Matthew Golden. I know they lost Jaden Reed, but again, these pieces of the clog are just so similar that they can just keep on putting them in, and it won't affect them all that much in terms of offense. So I think they're still going to be great. I'm happy that at least my prediction on Tucker Kraft is also coming to fruition. Again, I said when they drafted both him and Luke Musgrave, everyone was in awe of Luke Musgrave, and I said this is going to be an Hunter Hurst, Mark Andrews situation. This is going to be the guy drafted second is going to be much better than the guy drafted first because Tucker Kraft is an actual tight end in the NFL. He's an actual freak. He's an actual great player. And Luke Musgrave was just like a combine darling. I don't think there's anything massive about him. And Tucker Kraft just went off like 6 catches, 125 yards, if I'm not mistaken, a touchdown. He shrugged a safety so bad that the guy went to Jesus Christ, Nevermore. So yeah, like dude was great out there. And I'm expecting him to be a massive piece of this offense. But like most pieces in this offense, it's just going to be a revolving door of options. Like any given week, a guy can go in there into that receiver core and get like 2 targets. So it's going to happen. But I expect him to have a great season, and he's showing out so far. Great game for him. My guy, Tucker Kraft. See? Standing on business, Angelo.
Congratulations.
Fuck Luke Musgrave.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Weak ass tight end.
Exactly.
Fantasy darling tight end.
Exactly. No. Yep. Keep going.
Just you metrics guys love them so much. How about that?
We did. I did. I love Luke Musgrave. I'm not afraid to admit it.
See? There you go. Now he's in the gutter. Gonna get traded soon enough because he's just not an alpha guy like Tucker Kraft. Dude got named captain second year in or third year in, and it's just like he's catching the football. He's throwing out the poses. He's looking mean. He's a mean motherfucker. Meanwhile, Luke Musgrave is just sitting on the bench, saying he's just a chill guy. That's what you got.
A chill guy. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got.
Yeah, it was a solid game. I couldn't watch it yesterday, but as soon as I woke up today, I managed to watch the full thing and like the game in 40 sort of thing. It was a solid game actually for Thursday Night Football. Commanders again started very slow. They basically gave like a first half head start to the Packers. But in the second half, it was a very fun game actually. Jaden Daniels looked off on a few of those plays. I think it was just the pressure getting to him in terms of like they were on his ass so much. Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt and Lucas Van Ness, all of those guys, they were on him so much that at some points it looked like some of the balls were coming off wonky out of his hand.
Like I said, I wouldn't put like concern on Jaden Daniels just off of this. I was saying earlier that Packers defense looks like the Eagles defense from last year. It looks a lot like it. I don't have any qualms with Daniels. I have qualms
I agree.
that you were too much of a pussy to pick the Packers.
Hey, don't worry. It won't happen again.
We'll
go back into it.
Now it won't happen again. Okay. We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
Relax. Take your weekly win. Wait, did you? Yeah, you won the week because you also got the win on. That's another game that we didn't discuss. I guess we can discuss that again.
Yeah. So JJ McCarthy, what's up?
I went to. I fell asleep at like during the halftime. So I watched the first.
So you missed all the good stuff then.
I missed all of the discombobulation happening because I went to sleep thinking, damn, JJ McCarthy looks like such a bust. And Caleb Williams has improved so much from one year to another. Damn, this is looking like maybe the Bears have a chance here. It's looking nice. And then I wake up and it's like I didn't even see the result at first. But I woke up and I was reading comments on a Discord chat, and the vibes, because there's some people who are Bears fans in there, some people who are not Bears fans, but they are Bears aficionado, let's put them like that, or they have a soft spot for the Bears. And the vibes there were not nice, and I was like, wait, what did I miss? And then I watched the game and I'm like, oh crap, that's what I missed. He just shut down for the second half. So that's fun. And yeah, I unfortunately lost that one. It was a 1.5 point spread that we were picking. It was close. If I'm not mistaken, they won by a field goal. But yeah, man, JJ McCarthy in that second half. And the quotes coming out of him. I mean, I like JJ McCarthy from the start. I thought he was a very good QB. There were some people who thought that maybe the Michigan stuff, like he wasn't up to par. with the Michigan stuff. Michigan made him more of a QB than what he actually was. But I always thought he was decent. And man, the quotes coming out of him, especially during the game when they were down massively and the offense wasn't producing, he was out there going to talk with guys, saying to them like, "Is there anywhere else that you would want to be than outside of here?" And just lifting up the teammates, saying like, "We got this. We're actually gonna win this." When they were down massively, it speaks volumes of him. And then the post game locker room stuff,
I had
when Kevin O'Connell gave him the ball, he was, man, the way that he was rallying up guys. It's pretty cool to see that from such a young guy who missed his actually rookie season. He looked very good, yeah, and that second half, or in that last quarter, that is, he looked very, very solid.
You know, this is part of my growth. This is the lesson I needed to learn that I didn't for the longest time, because I used to be a strong, coaching doesn't matter guy. But there are some coaches and some systems/organizations you just say, okay, this coach has a good enough quarterback, you ride with it. I believe strongly Sean McVay and the Rams are one of those. I am not starting to. I'm full on believing the Vikings are another, because like Sam Darnold looked like a good quarterback. The Vikings organization from top to bottom got Sam Darnold that $40 million contract from the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I always knew I was picking the Vikings. I just didn't have any doubts. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have any doubts. I know you said Caleb Williams looked like he's improved. I will give you some of that, but it's still the same
in the first
mistake.
half.
I'm about to say, okay, it's still the same mistakes I'm seeing. He's holding the ball too long. His decision making can be questionable at times, and it's just, you know what? I think I've gone full circle. I think I'm fully on Austin's side. Austin, who's never on the show. I think this guy's going to be a bust.
I mean, the alarm bells were definitely sounding in like the NFL community, in the fantasy community, in the Bears community. The alarm were going off.
How much investment do the Bears need to give this guy to have such like mediocre results? I don't think the Bears have a shot at winning this division, like at all. Like after last night's game, if you lose that, no, there's no way. The Bears have no shot at winning this division, because remember, you still have the Packers and the Lions. Not the Vikings might be the third worst team in this division. Like,
it's weird because it's a game of two halves, because I went to sleep at the end of the first half and I was like, okay,
probably
the
feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, the Vikings offense looks mediocre. The defense is okay, but it's giving up some plays here and there. The Lions, I don't know, man. The first week we're giving them a pass, but we don't know like how much effect does losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn actually has on them. Like, was that a one-off bad exhibition versus the Packers? Is that the new norm for the Lions? And I went to bed thinking, man, the Packers are the best team in the league, sure, but like the Bears might just be the second best team in this division at this point. And then I wake up and it's like it's the meme of the dog drinking coffee, and then it's a fire everywhere, and I'm just like, this is fun, this is okay, this is fine, and like everything has gone to shit at this point. Or the meme of the guy coming in with the pizza, and it's just like a fire everywhere in the apartment. So yeah, I definitely think it's a game of two halves. The first half, they looked very good, but again, scripted plays play a big factor into that. But they were looking very good in the first half. Things were clicking with the offense. Ben Johnson looked like he could do no wrong there. And in the second half, I mean, Caleb Williams was missing some wide open, easy ass passes. One that could have gotten a touchdown to DJ Moore, for example, where he was wide open to get back into that game. He was missing short passes, intermediate stuff, deep stuff. It was all over the place, man. I wouldn't really put a lot of blame into Ben Johnson on this one, apart from a thing or two that I didn't think were well called or good in-game decisions. But that loss is on Caleb, man. Like, he had the things set up for him to succeed, and he was missing some of those things. Again, it's week one. Let's not overreact, because we could easily see, like, for example, this upcoming week, the Vikings face whoever, and the defense just runs ransack all over the opposition's offense, and you're like, okay, all of these teams are good in the NFC North. The Bears just faced a freight train, or maybe it's the opposite, and then the Bears look even worse on week two, and it's just like, okay, maybe Caleb isn't the option, because I'm starting to see that from a lot of Bears fans right now. They're starting to pull the plug, and I hear feedback like, we need an actual vet. We can't go with rookies again. Caleb is a bust. Caleb isn't going to work out. I think let's give it this whole thing a bit more before we completely pull the plug. But yeah, the second half was nasty.
I agree with the time portion of your argument. Where I completely disagree is, like, this is make or break for this dude. This year is make or break for this dude. I don't think with all that investment in you, you can afford to, like, just be average. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, they invested a first or second round tight end. They have DJ Moore, and they also invested 2 first round picks in wide receivers. First or second round picks in wide receivers. They invested money in the offensive line. The only position they haven't heavily invested in is the running back position. And honestly speaking, I think that would have done them the best with Caleb's limitations. Because I think with quarterbacks who hold on to the ball too, like, often, and I don't know if it's a processing thing, if it's a reading thing, if it's like I don't want to throw a pick thing. I'm not in Caleb's head. But I think what would have done him well is getting into, like, certain games where you're running the ball a lot, you're getting into grindy games, and you're keeping these possessions. The Bears, from the way they've constructed their roster, just want to just fling it every time. Just looking at am I wrong? Does it not look like, based on how this team is designed, they just want to run out of shotgun and pass every play?
Yeah. I think part of their issue as well is that, again, DeAndre Swift is not a very good running back. So at some point, you also, like, you can't rely on your run long enough, and you have to pass more than what you actually want to.
That's what makes some of these decisions weird. Like, you invested in a Luther Burden, you invested in a Roma Dunze, and you're still running DeAndre Swift, who, I'm going to be real, is a glorified pass catcher. Like,
yeah. Like, again, I was Team Swift when he came out. I learned very quickly that Team Swift isn't all that good unless you're talking about Taylor Swift. Now, the Team DeAndre Swift isn't all that fun to be in, because you have to defend and you have to do a lot of juggling to be sure to justify that he's actually a solid running back. Because just, like, his running ability, oh man, like, his vision is all over the place, man. You really can't justify a lot of that. So yeah, again, it's weird that they went about this in order of let's bolster positions that we already have, like 2-3 guys that are already good enough in, and let's just ignore one of the main cogs that was a success in Ben Johnson's system back with Detroit.
and it's kind of weird just to, like, looking at this in retrospect, it's almost like they were making decisions assuming Caleb was already a great quarterback, essentially.
Yeah.
And they kind of didn't, like, take into consideration a development phase. Which, that's why Bear's gonna bear.
I understand the mindset of you need to think that your QB is that. Otherwise, you might as well replace him if you don't think he is great in that echelon. Maybe you're looking at replacing him. But yeah, it does feel a bit like that. It feels like, okay, we have a star here. Let's give him passing options. We'll make do with what we have on the run. And we go from there. But again, we all sat here and we thought that the roster was good enough. Caleb was good enough. Ben Johnson was good enough. So I think nitpicking how they came about creating this roster isn't really fair when we were on board with it before. Especially
what do you mean I was not? I was totally. I said they should have done this shit with Justin Fields. I was totally on board with like creating a roster to facilitate a young quarterback. However, they kind of.
But we all thought the roster going into the season was good, no?
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we all thought the roster was good enough. Okay, it could be improved here or there. So I don't think there's much of a point about like saying, okay, they shouldn't have done this, they should have done that. When we thought the roster was good, yeah. Here we're just like we're looking at things in retrospect. Inside is 2020, as they say.
Oh, 1000%. But here's the thing: the roster is still good enough. All of this, what I'm saying is, all of this has set Caleb Williams up to be the fall guy, because if this Bears team does not succeed, it is not going to be on anyone else but Caleb Williams this year.
I think we need to pump the brakes on the doomsday day coming.
I'm not saying it's doomsday. I'm saying this year has to be a performance year. It has to.
It's like his second year. They gave Justin Fields 3 years.
Stop this.
They gave Justin 3 years.
This is the NFL. You need results. They can excuse a rookie year. They cannot excuse a rookie in sophomore.
They excused it before. They are gonna excuse it. I'll tell you right now. Unless Ben Johnson wants to pull the plug and they have more faith on Ben Johnson than they have on Caleb Williams, they are gonna give him another year.
We'll see.
And again, Justin Fields was a top 10.
I mean, they might give him a year. Yeah.
Caleb was the number 1 overall pick. You know, those guys usually get a bit more time.
They do.
So,
you're not wrong.
I think let's wait to see how this one goes.
Zach Wilson get?
Zach got
2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
3, yeah. Zach got 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think it was 3, or he was moved on the 3rd. So at least like 2 full seasons, and then because I think the game in which like everyone was okay, this is it. Sound the hallelujah, the hallelujah bells, because this is it. He's coming to 2H, which was that. I think it was a Monday Night Football game versus the Chiefs. Prime time, and he was just absolutely balling out. And then that was actually the only game that he did that was any good. So, but yeah, that was the one. I think that was on year 3, if I'm not mistaken. But he might have got benched in year 3. Okay, I think it's fair to say that there wasn't a lot of improvement from Caleb when you look at the second half of the game. Yeah,
I think the totality.
Totality of the game, I would say, it was not a good game for Caleb. I would also say let's give him a bit more time. Let's see how this one goes. Let's see how they do versus the Bears, versus the Lions. Then let's see how they do against teams that we don't think are so good. Like teams that I don't know. I would have to look at their roster, at their schedule going forward. But let's look at some of those, and then let's try and decide how we think this one has gone. But yeah, that week not so good. For JJ McCarthy, it was awesome. I just saw a clip actually of him and Justin Jefferson, where he's going to the sidelines.
I'm gonna before you. I'm gonna give you. Oh, did it break up? Hello?
No.
Oh, no,
No,
okay.
no, you're good.
I'm gonna give you the Bears' upcoming opponents. You tell me if you where you think the test game is. Lions this week.
I think it's going to be a close game. Wouldn't fault them if they lost that one.
Cowboys the week after.
I would. Is that game in Dallas or in Chicago?
Chicago.
I
Chicago!
would. I would hope that they at least make it close, but probably I would hope that they win that game.
God, I fucking hate you
But
for
it
this.
needs to be like if they lose that one, it has to be Caleb didn't mess up at all. They lost on a late field goal by the Cowboys. That's the scenario in which I would accept a loss there.
2, 3. So week 4 against the Raiders.
Now you
In
have to beat the Raiders.
okay. And if not, then week 6
Which,
against the Saints is the
yeah, like if you don't beat the Saints, you kind of have to look at yourself in the mirror.
okay. Okay, so we're it's not we're not there, but we're gonna come up real close on it real soon. Okay. Anyway, go on. JJ McCarthy. You want to guess up JJ McCarthy as I think is deserved. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I also read just saw another video of him and Jefferson where he's going to the sideline and he's just like, man, don't give up on me right now. To Justin Jefferson, this is like a rookie saying this to a veteran that it's one of, if not the best wide receiver in the game. And it's just like going to his guy and like showing, don't give up on me right now, dude. We're gonna turn this around. And Jefferson is just like completely on board. You don't have to worry about that. I'm not giving up on you. Don't even have to mention it. And they managed to rally around him and win. So I think it's a massive props game to JJ McCarthy, a guy that a lot of people doubted, a guy that a lot of people thought was Michigan making him and not him making Michigan. But again, he's a leader in the locker room and he's super young and he's named captain going into the second season, knowing that he missed all of the first season and knowing that they traded the guy or let go a guy that was in the race for MVP at a certain point to trust on this rookie that they have. I mean, I think that's tremendous, and that's a tremendous outcome for the first game that he's in, especially coming from adversity as well at the start of the game and then winning it.
Yep.
I think that's massive.
Makes you feel that much better. Absolutely. Absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. Thank you.
See,
Why I
we're
picked
on
him.
board here.
That's why I picked him.
All right, so that's games are done there. Do you want to jump into next week's games, or I guess this upcoming week or weekend's games? Let's put it like that. Since we're recording this on a Friday this time around.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. So with this, we have a bit more time to discuss the games, to go a bit more in depth into those games, into what we think these games will turn out, like how we see them pan out. So yeah, let's start this. And I guess I picked the first game, so you can go now because I picked the Commanders Packers that was in last week's show. For the results, last week, Angelo, damn cough. Angelo, we had 8 games, right? No, we had 16 games. Yeah, 16 games. Angelo went 7-9. I went 6-10. So he's currently leading by 1. And we go into week 2, where he already has a win with the Green Bay Packers. So if you want to go, Angelo,
I told you
tell
last
me,
week.
how do you think?
I
How do you
told you
think this is going to go?
I told you last week that Thursday night football I was heading into with the 1-0. I told you no, Monday night football. My bad. Monday night football was going to secure it at a 1-0. I told you that I was right about the Packers and I was right. So, the first game is the Ravens at the Browns and actually this line has moved in favor of the Browns more, but it is still 11.5 points for the Ravens. They have to beat the Browns by 12 points or more. That's a lot of fucking points, dude. I know they looked good against the Bills. I know that you think they're going to be uber motivated and they're going to, shellac the Browns. I'm telling you, in division game, I'm putting a lot of faith in Kevin Stefanski, Joe Flacco. The people who think Joe Flacco isn't going to have to pass for 300 yards and the Bengals defense was soft, well, one, the Bengals defense is soft. But two, the Ravens defense has also regressed, and I don't think people are giving enough credit for that. I think the Browns are going to have to pass more. I'm curious to see if Quinshon Judkins plays. I am going with the Browns. I think they will cover that, and I think this game is going to be a lot closer than you think it's going to be.
This is a weird game because if I were going to do what you accuse me of doing a lot of times, which is not standing true to my beliefs, not standing true to my opinions in the games and flip-flopping on those, I would flip-flop this because everyone that I follow in the betting space, in the betting community, they are all on the Browns, and they present very solid arguments for the Browns. That the Browns are perhaps a better offense than what we're expecting. That the Ravens defense looks very beatable at times, so they could put points on the Ravens. I think all of that is correct. They praise the Browns offense and they praise the Browns defense, and that's where I might have an issue because I just don't see that potent offense. I think this is a Browns offense that it's going to be sort of an average offense, but they just happen to face a Bengals defense that is as soft as baby poop. And when they face that defense, they manage to have good results. They managed to put up 300 yards passing. They managed to do all of that. And the defense, I think the defense looks good. I think the defense is going to be very solid. I think it looks better than they're actually going to look going into week 2 because they just faced the Bengals offense that was very anemic because they always have slow starts. And I'm going to stick with my narrative there. And I'm going to stick with my pick. And I'm going to go Baltimore minus 11.5 for that. I think I'm going to sweat it out a bit. But I think this is a game where they win like by 14 points. They win by 2 touchdowns. They maybe score that second touchdown late. And then the Browns go and try to score something to make the game out of it. And they turn the ball over with Flacco because I can always count on some turnovers from Flacco. And some drops from Judy. So with that, Baltimore minus 11.5.
In the last 10 meetings, which goes back to 2020, do you know how many times the Ravens have covered that score against the Browns?
How many times?
3 times.
They do actually struggle versus the Browns. If I'm not mistaken, since Lamar joined the Ravens, Lamar is like 7-5 against the Browns, if I'm not mistaken. And that's straight up. That's not even ATS. That's straight up. So I can see the argument. But again, I'm going to stay true to my beliefs that the Ravens are that much better than the Browns. And week 1, if they go in there and they beat the Bills, and they don't get caught sleeping in the last quarter, or the last second half of the quarter, that is, and they win that game, I think a lot of people are on the Ravens side here. So I'm going to take the bit of advantage that I think I have here.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Next, buddy. Oh, here we go.
It's your team. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 3.5 point favorites versus the Jags. I think this is way too little. I think, again, when I saw this line the first time, Team Bengals all the way, I think the Bengals smoked them. Everyone I listen to, it's the Jags. Everyone likes the Jags. Everyone thinks that the Jags, they looked solid in the first game versus the Panthers. The Bengals offense looked anemic. The Bengals defense is bad. They all think the Jags are going to go in there and they're going to beat up the Bengals. I can't see it. I think the Jags, like Trevor Lawrence was all over the place with his passes. He faced a very soft Carolina Panthers defense. I think even if your guys' defense is not anything to write home about, it's probably a bit better than the Panthers. And you can put up some more offense than the Panthers could on the other side of the field. I think this is a game in which things start to finally click up here for the Bengals. They face a much weaker defense than what they faced last week. It's not the Browns anymore. It's not the in division matchup that gives them gray hairs every single year. It's actually a team that I don't think it's anything special, and is getting a lot of respect for a win that they really should, because the Jags look bang on average. And I know what I can count on with the Bengals, that is, and Joe Burrow. And I know what I can count on with Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to go with the Bengals -3.5.
The Jaguars have not beaten the Bengals since they drafted Joe Burrow. I am going with you.
Right. We're on Team Bengals here.
Which means this is about to be catastrophic. But next game, Giants at Cowboys. The Cowboys a 6.
Uh-oh. You're cutting up, buddy. Angelo? Angelo?
That Dallas.
Angelo? You need to go back and say everything.
Go on.
You have to go back and say everything from the start.
I have to go back and say everything from the start?
Yep, everything.
All right.
Discord messed with you. I can. Okay. Right now it's clear as day. Okay. But Discord was messing up with you.
Did you get the point where I said that it's a 6.5 point favorite?
I didn't even get that.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's a 6.5 point game. The Cowboys are favored in this game by basically a touchdown, 6.5 points. Everyone is giving up on Russell Wilson. They are talking about Jackson Dart. The Giants look like they are in chaos. On the opposite side, Cowboys are riding high on their loss to the Eagles. And everyone seems to think that they're darlings, that they're back. You know, yeah, they lost to the Eagles, but this is fine. I'm here to tell you I don't buy it. I think the reason that defense performed as well as it did is because they were motivated. I think the Dallas defense is going to be back in full force in this game. I am actually going with the Giants to cover this 6.5 point spread.
I'm actually right there with you. I think the Giants, I don't expect them to be great. I really don't. I think they have a bit more fight in them than what they showed last week, because I still think the defense is elite. Or at least as elite as possible for a team like that, because like the amount of pass rushing that they have. The secondary should be a bit better as well. So I do think that they can put on a fight, and actually show something here versus the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like this is a game where everyone is going to back the Cowboys, because they looked a bit better than what we expected going into week one.
On their loss.
They're gonna, it's gonna be a loss that almost looks like a win for them. So I think a lot of people are gonna be on Dallas here.
So sad.
And again, it's weird because you rarely see Giants Cowboys at a 1 p.m. on a Sunday. It's just not what you usually see. This would usually get like a primetime slot somewhere. But no, we get this on a regular Sunday. So it's going to be a regular day. It's going to be Russell Wilson. I don't know about Russ, man. I feel like at some point it's kind of time
to cook.
But I don't think you throw Jackson Dart in there. I think maybe Jameis could be a better solution here for them.
Malik Nabber's value. Ooh.
Yeah, because if you throw Jackson Dart in there, realistically, you're not doing anything better than what you're doing with Russell Wilson, and you're hindering the development of Dart, I would say, by throwing him into this shit show. So give me the Giants. Tentative. I wouldn't really bet a lot on this game, if anything. But give me the Giants plus 6.5.
Giants plus 6.5.
Because I think they might just be a bit less shit than what people think, and I think the Cowboys might be a bit worse than what people think. So this was like 4.5, 3.5, give me the Cowboys 6.5. I feel like this is the game where they can easily lose by 6 because they backdoor cover it. So. All right. Afterwards, Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 5.5-point favorites. Again, we talked about the Bears at length. What they looked like week 1, solid first half, absolutely shitty second half. Looked discombobulated. Everyone is ready to jump off the boat of Caleb Williams. But again, we don't know what Detroit has in the tank. And I looked at what Detroit was putting out there on offense, and it was a very vanilla run type offense. The passing game didn't show me anything special either. All of it looked very vanilla, looked very basic. So maybe it's something that they will develop as the season goes on. And they should get a pass. But based on what I saw, this looks like two teams who are still finding out what they need to do to win games. I feel like the Lions have the better roster in general. I would say so. Or at least the better oiled roster, I would say. Like all of those guys have been with the team for quite a while now on both sides. So it's a team that has been together for a bit now. But I really, really, really want to back the Bears here. I want to run the narrative that it's the Ben Johnson revenge game. And I want to run the narrative that maybe, just maybe, the Bears can hold on to what they did in the first half and improve on that, either than go in full off blow up mode and just like ride on what happened in the second half. So I'm gonna go with the Bears plus 5.5 because I still don't know what to expect out of the Lions. And at least with the Bears, I saw a first half that showed me something that I like. So based on that, I'm going to go with the Bears plus 5.5.
I think Dan Campbell is going to take the Bears' ankles. They're going to serve up kneecap soup via the Bears, and I'm going with the Lions. No? I actually do like your side a lot better. I am concerned with what I saw with the Lions. Very concerned. Especially considering the Lions basically got all their players. I hate to say it, but they looked better banged up than they do fully healthy right now. But that's fine. I do think there's a chance that Jared Goff does have a bounce back game. This is in Detroit. Yeah. And right. I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery get held for 20 yards each. So we'll see.
All right.
Next up. Oh no. The Miami Dolphins are at home against the New England Patriots. The Miami Dolphins are... You're kidding. The Miami Dolphins are favored by 1.5 points. I know what you're going to pick. I'm trying to find the justification to make...
I'm quite split on what I'm going to pick because there's two very good arguments.
You're split on this? Oh, man. I'm just going to take the win. I'm going to take the Patriots then. Because, like, that Miami team looked they did look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. And you can say what you want to say about New England. They didn't. They didn't look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. I keep saying I'm saying way too much. TreVeyon Henderson is very explosive. They seem to be willing to design plays to get the ball in his hands. I do, especially, man, Demario Douglas too. They have a lot of guys who can get yards after contact, and they were not, or yards after the catch, and they just simply were not as well as, at least as well as they were doing in the preseason. In week one, I do think things are going to fall, especially considering Miami's defense is a lot weaker now. And I think they're going to give up a lot of big chunk plays to Douglas and Henderson. I'm going with the Patriots on this one.
So when this came out, I immediately thought, okay, let's go with the Patriots. Because, again, Miami looked absolutely atrocious.
Yep.
The Patriots looked bad, but not as bad. But they also didn't look good again. They looked bad. Let's reinforce that. They looked very bad.
Okay.
They really didn't. They got the ball on Travian Anderson's hands, but not as much as I would have hoped. They still involved Ramondre Stevenson quite a bit. In fact, I believe he had more touches than Anderson as well. And they had Drake May throw the ball like 40-something times, which is never productive, as you well know. When your QB has to throw that much, something is not working out as intended. And they still lost that game. But then it got me thinking, like, this is an actual very weird line. Like 1.5, when you see all of that, you're basically saying that both teams are dead even. And the Dolphins, they couldn't even move the football. They couldn't even get yards. The offense looked a mess. The defense looked a mess. Why are they favorites? And then I got into looking. Okay, so historically, the Patriots, even when they have good teams, they tend to struggle away to Miami whenever they play in September, which is when it's hotter out there.
Brightest, yeah.
Then you also have the Miami Dolphins and the shenanigans that they pull with the sunshade, where their sideline is always shaded from the sun, while the opposite team is always taking the sun straight on. So the Patriots, cold weather team, are going to be sweating bullets all afternoon. The players are going to be toasted by the end of the first half.
Okay.
They didn't look as great as well. It's not only the Miami Dolphins, they also struggled quite a bit.
Okay.
I honestly want to say Miami -1.5. Because, again, I think it's an in-division matchup that Miami usually has a lead on when it's played in this sort of temperatures. And I believe the offense is at least a bit better than what we saw in week one. Like, it has to be at this point. We've seen enough of the Dolphins to know that they can do more than what they have shown in that week one, even if the defense is like an absolute atrocity. They still should be better on the offensive part of the football. So I'm gonna go with Miami -1.5 because I think they're gonna pull the shenanigans. I think it's not gonna be a pretty game, but I think they're gonna win this game.
Okay. I can respect that. Oh, no.
All right, so it's the San Francisco 49ers at the New Orleans Saints.
You don't have to.
The
You
Niners,
don't even have to ask. You already know who I'm going with. Yeah, go on.
The Niners are 4.5-point favorites. This screams like a Mac Jones line. I'm not gonna lie. And I believe this is gonna be a Mac Jones game. So we finally get to see Mac Jones with Kyle Shanahan. After all of that from 2021, where reportedly he wanted Mac Jones, but the press wasn't having it. So no Mac Jones for you. Now you got Mac Jones at a discount. So Niners are without George Kittle, are probably going to be without Brock Purdy, are without Brandon Ayuk, are probably without Juwan Johnson. They're still 4.5-point favorites to the New Orleans Saints. I actually want to go Niners Because I have this weird theory where I want to take the spot in which I have a coach that I think is good and I have a backup QB that I think is good. And both are actually correct here. I think the coach is good. I
Yep.
think the backup is solid. I always like Mac Jones. So I think I'm going to go the Niners, even though like all of this, the amount of injuries, the amount of everything that they have going on, I think this should give a better chance for the Saints to cover this number or even win it. I'm gonna go with the theory that backup QB and coach that I think are good trump the injuries and all of that. So I think they're gonna make do with what they have. Weird that like CMC was such an injury scare last before the week started, before the year started. That is, and all of a sudden like he's healthy, but they had to sacrifice everyone in the team basically. It's like the Thanos thing. What did it cost you? Everything. And it's like, what did it cost to keep CMC healthy? Everything.
Yeah. No, you got it. You hit it. You hit it right on the nose, Alex. Yeah, I would have liked if you would have added that even with the injury to, Brock Purdy, that the Saints are going to get sacrificed, but it's okay. It's okay. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Current
Yeah.
Niners don't sacrifice anyone, buddy.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to get there. It's going to take some time
They
as
win
it does.
games by thin margin.
It's going to take some time. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine for that to happen. I am curious because George Kittle is hurt as well. I don't think you mentioned that.
I did. He's on IR right now. I believe he's been placed on IR. He's gonna miss 4 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, did it?
What?
Robot.
Oh, the robot. The robot. It happened in my voice.
Yeah. Now it's fixed. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it happened on yours as well, by the way. So I was gonna say, okay, it's time to say that he needs to repeat himself, but it was very short. It was like a phrase or two where we were talking about Kittle. But yeah, Kittle. I think I mentioned that he was on IR, or maybe you're right, and I did. But no, he's out for the game at least. I believe it's been placed on IR and is about to be placed on IR because it's gonna be at least 4 weeks. I believe it's an hamstring injury. So
yeah, him and Purdy are probably going to come back around the same time.
yeah,
like I said, the Saints look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. I like it, and I agree with you. Better coach. I think the quarterback is good enough. Yeah, give me the 49ers in this, and welcome to the dark side, Alex. All that's missing is saying that the Saints are about to get sacrificed.
No, you're probably never gonna hear that one from me. So I'm sorry.
Never gonna hear that one. Okay.
Highly doubt it.
So next one is the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. The Buffalo Bills are favored 7.5 points. Sorry. I think this is an interesting line. I do believe Buffalo's offense is good enough to cover this. But I also have a sneaky suspicion. I guess you could make the same argument for the Jets as well. But I think coming off a high note against the Ravens, winning that game they had to win, I think you're going to see a bit of a cool down. And I do think if we get a similar offense to the Jets from last week, they're easily covering this. Because your argument against Justin Fields is he makes the mistake at the biggest moment to lose the game. It isn't that he keeps the game out of 7 points within reach. So, I'm going with the Jets.
It's always hard for me to back the team with Justin Fields. But again, this has been the team, I guess, for this week. Historically, how do things go? We've talked historically, the Ravens have a tough time. The Lamar Jackson the Ravens have a tough time with the Cleveland Browns. Historically, Patriots struggled versus Miami. Historically, even with bad teams, especially since like 2020. It's not a super back there trend. Let's put him with Josh Allen. Even with the Jets having bad teams, they always give the Bills trouble. So for 7.5, I have a QB that I don't think is good, but I have a QB that will run around like an headless chicken, will get me yards when I need to at least extend a drive or two, maybe get me to field goal range, score points there. They're probably going to be up at some point in this game, but Josh Allen is going to make a comeback. They're going to put the ball on Justin Fields when they're down a touchdown. My only concern is if they're not down a touchdown when Justin Fields gets the ball in his hands and they're down by 8, for example. Because I know that Justin Fields won't get me the touchdown in the end, and I'm going to be toasted by this line, which is 7.5. So if they're down 8 when Fields get the ball, I know I've lost. But I'm going to hope that it's 7 or less. And I'm going to go with the Jets to keep this one at least slightly close as well. Give me the Jets plus 7.5, and we pray that when Justin Fields gets the ball with like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's not that they're losing by 8 or more, it's that they're losing by 7 on the dot.
You really have that little faith in Justin Fields. All right. It's okay.
Buddy, what faith is there to have?
That he's still in the NFL. You're next.
Great. Okay. Oh, this one brings back memories. Seahawks versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Who is the referee on this one? Let's hope it's not the same guy from the Super Bowl. Fuckers. The Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. Conventional wisdom tells you Pittsburgh. I am going to go against that. I think this is going to be a super low scoring game. I think the outcast, even the weather outcast for the game, isn't that great for football weather. Again, in Pittsburgh, not the best for football weather, even at this time of the year. I'm going to go with the Seahawks plus 3.5. I think the defense, they played very good versus San Francisco. They have a few lapses here and there that eventually costed us the game. But I think the defense was solid enough. I think this Pittsburgh side, it's iffy. I don't know if I will trust the performance from Rodgers on week 1 to stand for long. And I think we need to change something up offensively to maybe give us a better chance here. We can't have JSN with like 60% of the targets. Regardless of how much I would like that for fantasy, it just can't be. So I think we're going to mix things up. I still trust the coaching staff. I think let's go with Seahawks plus 3.5 in a game that I think it's going to be super low scoring. So I'll just take the points. I wouldn't be shocked if like neither team even gets to 20 points. So if this is like a 17-14 type of game. So I'm going to get the points in that situation.
Yeah, give me the Steelers. I don't think that the Steelers defense is going to look that terrible. I don't think they're going to get gashed by Sam Darnold running. I don't think that... I'll say it. The skill positions for the Seahawks are worse than the Jets, basically across the board. So, with that in mind, I'm just gonna take the better team. You can have the 3.5 points. Who cares? I got the highest paid defense in the NFL and Aaron Rodgers.
Well, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, sure. It's not the flex that you think it is. Having Aaron Rodgers in 2025.
Next.
Okay. Next up.
Rams are going to Tennessee to take on the good old Titans. The Titans who hurt me so much last year. Cam Ward and that offensive line looked absolutely terrible. The defense for the Rams looked really good too.
Bit of a robot voice there.
Take your win and kick the Rams.
You need to go back.
I need to go back?
You need to go back.
Oh my god. I'm really not liking Discord right now. I hope you know that.
You think I do? You think I do?
I'm really not liking
Struggling right now. I am not liking it.
Long story short, I'm picking the Titans. I think they're going to play better than they did in week 1. I think the Rams are going to play worse than they did in week 1, specifically defensively. And I think Cam Ward is going to show improvements from week to week. And you're going to see a lot more impressive stuff out of Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, and the Titans. So I'm going to let them hurt me again, Alex. So take your win and pick the Rams.
You're actually wrong. I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. I think Tennessee, I think, is the smart side here. Again, I thought the offense was all over the place. But again, it's one of those week 1 things that I don't know if they're verified or not. Because, in my opinion, the Broncos have maybe a top 5 defense in the league. And I think they have a very solid offense. And I think the defense showed out massively. And they had Cam Ward on his heels all the time. But I didn't think the offense looked all that great. The offense really struggled out there. And I think a part of it is the Tennessee Titans. I think the Tennessee Titans defense is going to be solid. And I think their offense is probably going to be a bit better than what we saw in week 1. 1, because it's developing with a young QB. And 2, because they won't face as good of a defense as they faced on week 1 versus the Rams here. Plus, Matthew Stafford still not 100% at this time. The receiving pieces for the Rams, I have some issues with. Like, Puka is an absolute warrior still. But Kyren Williams, again, his effectiveness and his how good he looks with the football in his hand right now is iffy to me. And Devontae, it gets worse every year again. That is 100% correct. And Devontae Adams, he dropped a few key balls there that I didn't expect him to. So again, week 1 alone, you would say, the Rams obviously, like, Tennessee look dusted. Let's pump the brakes on that, because I think there's a middle ground here in which the Rams are still in their early season form, which they sometimes struggle in early on, especially with Stafford banged up. And let's chill the worries on the Tennessee Titans here right now. So I'll take the Titans as well, plus 5.5 with you.
Oof. That's crazy. I did not expect that. These are things I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Right now, Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 6.5-point favorites at this time around. Good showing by them. Versus who was it last week? It was one of those really no good showing by the Cardinals last week, and I'm trying to realize who it was against. It was it was I can just check it fairly quickly. I know it was a solid performance, but I don't remember versus who. They faced the Saints. So solid performance, but again, it was the Saints. 6.5 points. They won that game by 7, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Away to New Orleans. I think the Panthers looked like an absolute dumbfire, but I think there were some positives. I think on offense, Ted McMillan looked solid on offense. I think Shuba still has some of his magic from last year running in him. That's about it. But I'll be frank. But the Cardinals didn't really impress me all that much versus the Saints. It was a contested game until damn near the very end. They made Spencer Rattler to look halfway decent and not like an absolute shitty QB. So because of that, and because I think the Cardinals are a very up and down sort of team, I will take the points with the Carolina because I think this could easily be a game in which they win by 6 instead of winning this by a touchdown, something like that. I 100% expect Arizona to win. I don't think they can beat this line of 6.5 versus a team that I think it's a step above the New Orleans Saints based on my preseason predictions and priors of it.
I am going to give the Cardinals an opportunity to hurt me. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals in this game. I simply cannot trust the shitty Panthers. I think that the Panthers need to get off Bryce Young. I think this experiment has failed. I think you were smoking hopium when you said he looked good in the second half and he should do good and do better in this season. They figured out they have Marvin Harrison Jr. last year to go along with Trey McBride. I don't think the Panthers really have anything to stop either of them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. The Denver Broncos versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Denver Broncos are currently favored by 2.5 points. The Colts against the Dolphins looked like one of the best teams in the NFL. So I don't know what the line was before week 1, but I imagine it was somewhere in the 7 to 8.5 point range. I'm actually gonna go with the Colts.
The Colts
week. And maybe I'm smoking. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Maybe I'm smoking the hopium. I have been touting this guy named Tyler Warren all year, being the best tight end in the class. He looked amazing. Pittman looked good too with Daniel Jones. Yeah, no, the Colts got me on the hopium. I'm going with the Colts. They're winning this game outright.
I feel like this is one of those lines that has been heavily impacted by the week 1's result. Again, Broncos offense didn't look as good as I expected, but their defense looked absolutely lights out. And the Colts, on the other end, the offense looked very good. The defense looked very good. But it's versus a team that we're saying is maybe the best, the worst team in the league right now. It's the pole position runner-up right now for the 101 pick. So I don't know how much I'm going to take that performance into the equation here, and how much I actually think like they're good versus the Miami Dolphins are an absolute dumpster fire. There's one unit I trust in this game, and I'm going to go with that. It's the Denver Broncos defense, and I'm going to let the Denver Broncos offense figure the rest out. That's the thing that I'm going to go with. I've seen Daniel Jones for a while now. We know what Daniel Jones can offer to the teams that he's in. We know what sort of game that he can have. And we've seen the Colts for a while now. The defense, we've seen how up and down and average the defense can be as well. And the Broncos, again, if there's one unit in this 4 units in this game that I can trust, it's the Denver Broncos defense. So I'm going to go with them. I think it's simple as. I think if the Colts didn't have as great of a week last week as they had versus Miami, this is easily a game that is 4.5, 5. So I'm going to take my points and win. Simple as.
Simple as.
Simple as.
You get to be the first one to pick this.
Okay. Fly, Eagles, fly. The Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles are 1.5 point favorite. This tells you how much the books are. This tells you how much the bookies are trusting Philadelphia here. Everything tells me that I should go KC. KC's banged up.
What is telling you that you should go? Oh, okay.
well, Kansas City's banged up. They have no Worthy. They have no Rishi Rice. Their wide receiver one right now is Hollywood Brown.
So
Their
you're
running
saying we should go
backs.
with the Philadelphia Eagles? Go on.
Yes, that's what it's telling me. Yeah. Their offense right now runs through old banged up Travis Kelsey,
Old,
an old
ancient.
crappy
Put him in the
ass.
museum. Put him in the museum now.
Put him in a museum. Travis Kelsey, a washed up Hollywood Brown,
So washed. Probably not even
and
that fast anymore.
a mix of washed up running backs in Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt.
Isaiah Pacheco is the youngest dusted running back I've ever seen.
Yes, that is correct. And Kareem Hunt, like, I don't know, man.
Is an
Kareem Hunt has
actually
been out of the league for like 5 years now, but he always finds a way to make it into a team. It's the Browns or the Chiefs, but he makes them do it to one of those.
Yeah. Go on.
The defense looked nice for the Chiefs, and I think it's still going to be the case going forward.
Uh-huh.
Give me Philadelphia.
Ah!
In good faith,
He did it!
I can't pick the Chiefs here.
He
I
did
can't
it!
find the argument.
There's no reason this line should be
Well,
1.5.
there is one. There is one. Revenge game for Patrick Mahomes.
Who's Patrick Mahomes?
Because of that, I'm gonna go KC plus 1.5. I had you fooled there for a minute. I had you fooled. Give me the Chiefs. This is the revenge game for Kermit the Frog.
Oh my god. Yeah, I had you. You're right there. You listed all the reasons the Eagles are going to win this game beautifully. Last time Patrick Mahomes faced the Eagles defense, he looked closer to Drake May than he did to Tom Brady. Like, you were there. You were there, Alex.
That's diabolical.
You knew. You knew. And you know what's going to happen. The Eagles are going to fly. The Eagles are going to win this game. This should be like a 3.5 points. Or maybe even a 6 or 7 point spread. It's not. It's 1.5. I'm going to take my win, and I'm going to pick the Eagles. And the Eagles are going to win this game in Kansas City. And they're going to prove you wrong yet again for the umpteenth time. I don't know how many times they need to do it. But, yeah, no. Give me the Eagles.
How many
The
times we
reigning,
gotta teach you this
defending
lesson, old man?
Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. 2-0. Super Bowl 2-0, Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm.
All right. Take your victory lap then, if you believe in that so much.
I do. That's why I picked it.
I can't go against Mahomes. I think this is the Mahomes revenge game. If I trust that Andy Reid is a good coach and that Patrick Mahomes is a good QB, I have to trust that they're gonna find a way to look at what happened in the last game, turn that around, and show them that the Kansas City Chiefs era is not done yet. So all of them want to write them off, just like they wanted to write off Geno Smith. But you know what Geno said? I ain't write them back, and so aren't the Kansas City Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs, baby.
The next game, the Atlanta Disappointment Falcons against the Minnesota High on Life Vikings in Minnesota. It's a 4.5 point game in favor of Minnesota. I do think that we're a little bit too high in Minnesota. I think this line should be closer to like 3. Because, don't get me wrong, the Falcons disappoint. But the Falcons find ways to disappoint and lose close games, not blowouts. I'm not going to lie. I know in my bones the Vikings are winning this game. I don't know in my bones it's going to be by more than 3 points. With that said, I'm going to have the courage of my convictions, and I'm going to take the Vikings here. I think think Atlanta is a screaming value. They have the weapons. It seems like this seems to be a common thread. It seems like Michael Penix realized he has a Kyle Pitts to throw to as well last game, which is very promising. I think Atlanta's offense, as far at least on paper, they have one of the best tools in the toolkits in the league. So they should be able to put up points. I'm still going to go with the Vikings. I'm still going to go with Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell, the better coaching. Yeah.
I think you had it right there. I think you laid out the perfect arguments. I think the Atlanta has the pieces. Atlanta looked very solid on week one. At times there versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were in that game until the very end. The Buccaneers, I think, are a better team than the Vikings right now. Especially on offense, and they were managing to shut down them for a bit there. They were managing to contain the Baker Mayfield offense there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, Minnesota, great victory, but they're off the high of that victory. Could they let up a bit there? The first half, again, it looked very rough. Or even the first three quarters, it looked a bit rough there for them. I don't know how much I trust this to be the norm right now. If they give another 3-quarter lead to the Atlanta Falcons, I'm sure they're not going to mess that one up. Well, I wouldn't really say I'm sure after 28-3. But they're probably not going to mess that one up. So I think you laid it out perfectly. They have the weapons, both on offense and on defense. Give me Atlanta plus 4.5. I think that's the right side. I wouldn't be shocked if the Vikings won this, but 4.5, I think it's a smidge too much. Okay, my final game before we go into the final game of the week. It's not a double header, I guess. It's sort of a double header, but not at the same time, which I don't know who came up with this. A game is starting at 3 a.m. for me. That's just lovely.
You'll be waking up.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are 2.5-point favorites. I would like to go into this game and give you all of the reasonings for this and that. I just can't. I saw the Houston Texans look absolutely lethargic in the first game versus the Rams. They looked as bad as they looked for most of last year. I can't understand why they're 2.5-point favorites. Tampa Bay are the better team, are the better side. They're going to win this game, so give me the 2.5 points, I guess. That's as much as you're going to get from me here.
I think you're right. I do think you're right. With that said, I'm picking the Texans.
Okay. They're going to be your doom this year.
No, they're not. They're going to win this game. They're going to look better. It's going to be in Houston. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great.
I don't know about that, Jim.
Long year, Alex. I said it. I said what I said. I meant what I said. It's going to be good. Everything's going to be fine. So, last game, the Chargers at the Raiders. The better rookie running back against the worst rookie running back, or the worst rookie running back. The Chargers, they have the better running back, so it makes sense. They're favored by 3.5 points. Yeah, just give me the Chargers. It's simple as that. They got Amari and Hampton. They have the better quarterback. They have the better running back. They have the better wide receivers. They don't have the better tight end. I can't say that. They have the better defense. So, yeah. No, just give me the Chargers. I'm going to take the better team, the better coach, the better pretty much everything. The Raiders just have a Brock Bowers, and a Brock Bowers, while very impressive, probably doesn't give me to 3.5 points.
I don't know if you're going to like this or not. I'm expecting that you won't. But I think the right side here is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers, they're coming off a high, finally beating the Kansas City Chiefs
And then
in a
they're going to be
game that was in Brazil. So it's even a longer flight going back home. All of that weather, all of that adversity of going to play abroad. Now they come in and they have to go to Las Vegas versus a team that is very sound defensively, that wants to run the ball, be aggressive with the football in the sense that not aggressive, be a
not Alex.
very 90-90s type of team. We're going to beat you down by the run. We're going to run the ball through your gut, and you're going to see how you like that. And then if it's not working out, you have Geno Smith, who's usually a very accurate QB, very on point. He likes to take some of the risks. I'm not sure if Bowers is going to be in this game, but if Bowers isn't, then you also have Michael Mayer, who's maybe the best backup tight end in the league at this point. You still have Jacoby Myers in there. You still have the Trey Tuckers. You still have the guys that they drafted this year. I think this is a team that is going to keep getting points. It's going to keep getting disrespected because I think this is a very solid football team, top to bottom. And I think they're going to show out versus the Chargers. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose, but I think they cover this number. I think they get this number. With the amount of points I'm getting here, I think this is a win for me. But I also wouldn't be shocked if they beat them. I do.
Okay, what's the over under on Rashad Jeanty rushing yards? Is it over under 50 yards?
Why did you just call him Rashad Jeanty?
Oh, Ashton.
That?
Sorry.
I thought it was a play on Rashad White. And how trash he was.
That's who he's going to be referred to after he leaves the Raiders. But
okay. So you want to know what over under on the rushing yards?
Yep.
Okay, let me double check that. So Chargers, Raiders. There you go. So for the statistics, you are looking at rushing yards. You're looking at Ashton Jeanty, 66.5 is the number that I have right now.
Take the under there.
Umaria Hampton's number is 59.5.
You take the over there.
I definitely wouldn't take the over because from Harbaugh's speech and his talk after the game was saying that they wish they had Najee Harris involved there a bit more, but they had him scripted for only 19 touches and the only 19 snaps, that is, due to the eye injury that he suffered during the offseason. They're still ramping him up. So that tells me that they want him more involved, that they are just waiting for this to ramp up a bit more. So I don't know how this looks in a couple of weeks. The spread between Omari Hampton and Najee. I don't know how it's going to look out.
You take the over.
Okay. If you say so. Okay. So Raiders for me, plus 3.5. And that's it. That's the games. And we have a nearly 2-hour show. Or no, hour and change, yeah.
People know to take the over.
All right. So you're confident for this week?
Actually, honestly, this is probably one of the worst feeling going into weeks I've ever felt.
Give me your gold, bronze, whatever, you know how this one goes. Give me your bronze, gold, and silver picks while I open up the spreadsheet here to keep track of it.
Gold so is the Eagles beating the Chiefs.
Let me recap here. So last week I was 0-3. I lost with Miami plus 1.5, Carolina plus 3.5, and Seahawks plus 2.5. You were 1-2. You won your silver pick. So your gold was Cincinnati minus 5.5. Your silver was Minnesota minus 1.5. Your bronze was Atlanta plus 2.5. So going into week 2, who do you have for me?
My gold is the Eagles beating the Chiefs. That's
Philadelphia. Plus, we have 1.5, right?
minus one.
We have. Oh, minus 1.5. Yes, that's correct. Minus 1.5.
The
Right.
next
Your
one
silver.
is the 49ers shellacking the Saints.
Okay. San Fran, I believe it's plus 4.5. That's the number that we have. Yeah, plus 4.5. Okay,
And
bronze.
my last one is the Jets covering against the Bills.
New York Jets plus 7.5 for the bronze pick. Okay, for my gold pick. Few that I like, none that I love, which is not a good feeling. I
It's a
think
great
my
feeling.
gold is gonna be. I think my gold is gonna be Denver. My gold is gonna be Denver plus minus 2.5. That's it for me for the gold. For the silver, I am thinking. Yeah, for silver, I'm gonna go a bit off the hedge here, and I'm gonna go Tennessee plus 5.5 for my silver.
You're confident in Tennessee? Ooh.
Let's see how this one goes. And finally, okay, my bronze one is gonna be Cincinnati minus 3.5.
Okay.
Yep. That's it. That's how we're gonna go. Okay. You have anything else to add before I get us out of here?
I do not, other than it's about damn time to see you make some actual predictions with your heart. Have the courage of your conviction for one day in your miserable ass life and actually make me feel bad about predictions going into the week. So congratulations to you, sir.
All right. Let's see if the courage of my conviction gets me the win here. All right, guys. If you've listened this far, thank you so much. If you're listening to this on the Apple Podcasts app, on the Spotify app, just make sure to leave us a like, leave us a review on the show as well. Turn on the auto downloads, follow the show, all of those good things. That always helps us out. And as always, guys, talk to you next week.
See you. I have a feeling Alex might be talking to us next week as winner of week 2. We'll see then.
Oh,